Well, Herr General, I hope you're sitting down, because you're not going to like what I have to tell you. Your new orders, effective immediately, are to halt the advance towards Moscow and swing back south in the direction of Kiev in the Ukrainian SSR. Apparently there is a huge pocket of Soviet troops forming there. Some estimates reach 500,000. It's your job to deal with them. The majority of your targets are here. From Chernigov to Konotop to Mirgorod. This roughly triangular area has too many Soviet forces for us to simply ignore. We need you to get your forces in there and clear them out. Every airfield, every town, every city, every farmhouse, and even Kiev itself must be completely subdued. You had best get your men moving quickly. It's a long detour to Kiev, and twice as far to double back to Moscow.
Right, welcome back once again. It's time for Panzer Corps 2 with the center path. We're in Kiev North. Let's repair all units first and then do a couple of upgrades over here. So, just like with the other pods, the first thing that I want to do, actually in this case I want to upgrade the last VF-109. And let's see, do I have some port tanks? No, not really. So I'll be upgrading both my recons to the one with all-terrain movement. And that will make their movement on clear terrain hexes instead of 4, it will make it 8, and I think that's really, really important. Anyway, as for this mission, there are a couple of things going on here, so let's get rid of this. First of all, we can now luckily see which hexes do block supply. For example, on those heavy river hexes. So that's really nice. Quite happy about that. Probably can deploy forces there, right? I have to deploy them up here, of course, right? Yeah. Yeah, so we can finally see that. So that's great. For this mission, I have a certain strategy, and that strategy is the following. We know that the AI cannot lead back supply through this thick forest, which means that this, and this unit all currently block all supply coming from this side. For the Soviets to get supply from here is ridiculous in the first place, but that's besides the point. Anyway, they are blocking supply this way, and I have a certain feeling that the AI is not going to attack these guys, but yeah, I would assume so. Besides that, basically most of this river, except for these bridge hexes, does not allow the Soviets to get supply. So if we take Cherkasy, for example, then that means that we can cut supplies all the way through here. And if we take Kremenchuk, well, actually, we already hold this part, they cannot trace supply back over to this side of the river, except, I suppose, at Dnipropetrovsk currently, but I could technically just send a unit there. I'll just take this and then move up. That would work as well. Anyway, that means that this area is closed off. Now, in the north, if I take Chernikov, this is also basically where their chance to get supply stops. Same goes for the river up here and this bridge hex. This is still a block supply hex, so this should be fine. Then we'll get this here thick forest through which they also can't get supply over through here. Does seem to be a road here, but it still blocks supply pretty much up till this forest hex. So what does that mean? If I am able to prevent them, I have to zoom out even more. If I'm able to get a zone of control basically from Kremenchuk all the way to Konotop, all the units in this pocket and at Kiev, etc., will be cut off. As long as I also have those bridge hexes. And that's practically what I'm going for. going to Sumy and Poltava would only extend the wide range, so that would be difficult. But yeah, that's basically the strategy that I'm going for here. And hopefully that will give me a ton of surrenders and also a ton of prestige. I need to just simply destroy 88 units on the map, and I would assume that that's most, if not all of them. Anyway, that means that I want to send a force over to these river hexes, guard those river hexes with, say, a tank or something, so that the enemy at the very least can't easily cross. And then I want to send a force over to Novgorod-Seversky, cross it, and then move towards Konotop. I might also clear out the Soviets at Trubchevsk and this here airfield, but we'll see about that. Anyway, I can't bring back either of these two because, well, technically I could say that I don't want to deploy the Karl Jurat, which is at 7. So maybe it's a bit unfair to be using the Karl Jurat on this map. 7 is a lot, so... Let's just play fair a bit and keep those in reserve for when you really need it, like for example Moscow. Anyway, since I probably have the initiative, I will deploy some artillery up front. Let's also go for the air forces. I can deploy air force down there, but I don't think it's that necessary. If they want to bomb my auxiliary units, that is fine. I need to gain superiority in the north and then swing south, which I think is more important. Yeah, I got that Avenger hero, just like at Leningrad. Like I said previously, it's actually a pretty bad hero. Not really noteworthy. Yeah, like I said, we really only have had one really good hero. And that's the one that's on the Flum Panzer right now. This one, hit and run. It's now, one thing that I've learned is that the crippling blow guy is also really good on the Flampanzer, because I'm gonna attack full strength infantry in the city, and then I could really use that +5 attack, I think, anyway. But I'll see. I'll just test it out, actually. If it's still less than 100... actually, 18 soft attack, and how much... I think it's easily checkable. So let's say a regular infantry will go for 8 ground defense. So that's already 9 higher, which is 45. Yeah, okay, so they don't need that hero at all. They actually don't need the fierce fighter either. So only hit and run is already good enough to get them 100% on infantry like that. I'd rather have it on the Panzer IV F then. Oh. Huh? Can I still upgrade? That's weird. Oh, okay. They fixed that. That's nice, actually. Yeah, crippling blow and fierce fighter, sure. There's a Panzer III F. So I need to send a force out there. Basically, I'm just splitting my my forces into 2 groups. You'll get a pioneers and an infantry, and then these guys will get 2 pioneers and an infantry. Might even say that I would just split my forces into 3 groups. Take both of these at the same time and then swing south. That might not even be such a bad idea. Yeah, sure. Let's get pioneers, infantry. So I'll set the Panzer 3F and then also have the Panzer 4D over here. Stug, I'll see which one of those two it will be necessary. Anti-aircraft for the northern one, for the southern group. And I still have a Panzerjäger. Now, I might just well deploy that here. Not sure whether they'll be necessary here. Once I have the river crossings, I might be fine. So we'll see. Unused core slots. Yeah, I could get 2 more core slots, I think. What do I really want? I could technically go for a bridging pioneer. But how useful is that here? Like, that would allow me to cross here instead of at Konotop. And afterwards at Poltava, so then I would just go around like this instead of anything different. And that way just surround the entire map. Yeah, that's okay. I can try that out. Seems interesting. Might be a bit tricky, but I think it will be worth trying that out. Alright. Yeah, I have enough core slots open. Some of your units have not been deployed. Wait a minute. Oh. Really? Huh, did I take that away? That's weird. Yeah. Okay. I guess for now the first thing I can do is actually split the recon, because I'm sure there's something behind that. And indeed there was the artillery, but I can already surround these units relatively easily, and I think I definitely want to go for that. By putting the Panzer 4F here, I already control the river hex, and they would have difficulty getting across, I think. So at that point, another thing that I need to do, they extend up till here. So I need to have the recon at the very least over here. There's still a few places that I'm missing, but okay, so I'm probably best off using the bomber to finish off this. And sure, I can use regular infantry. That's not an issue. There we go. Easy enough. That means I can put the flamethrower in here. And because there's still a unit here, they can't send units over the river because they'll be blocked while the infantry is there. And that infantry is static. So this already blocks off everything at Chernikov. Alright, it's probably best to at the very least have the infantry covered like this. Even if I don't do anything crazy. So I'll just leave those pioneers there, but they do exert sort of control over up here. And now the only place which I need to protect is this, which will be easy enough. You have vision of 1, so putting them here already has them encircled. It's funny that it keeps showing this, because technically I have sort of control over all these hexes, so I don't really know why it extends this far. I haven't quite grasped that, like, or everything within this perimeter is surrounded. Is it something like that? I don't know. What I do know is that I want to protect these guys. And I'm probably best off using the Stuk here as well. The Stuk has 16 defense, and these guys have 7 hard attack, which means that they can never deal damage to the Stuk. So it's a safe way to get suppression on these without worrying about an attack, because they simply cannot damage my units. Okay. Let's send the other part. It's just over here. Okay, so artillery, anti-tank or anti-aircraft gun. And these guys would be difficult to encircle them too. I could actually even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay. No, if I move in here, these anti-tank units could also move. That would be too harsh. But what's your heart attack? 9 against 14 defense. I have a 15% chance of dealing damage with every attack. That is clearly way too high for my tastes. Right, I'll just do this for now, and I think next turn I can go for an encirclement. Possibly. And I'll leave Novgorod, Seversky for what it is, at least for a turn. We have 30 turns, so I think we don't need to rush, really. I mean, we can't really go too slow. 1, they only have 2 movements, I'll be fine. Alright, you literally protect everything, but I still need to do this and then do that. These guys will be tough enough to break, so I hope to gain a bit of damage on them this way. Protecting units here will be trickier, but I think at the very least doing... I mean, they should not be able to see that, but I'm not taking any risks. Also, it blocks attacks on the Flum. If they're so desperate that they're gonna attack the recon this way with bombers and such, I can see that becoming a bit problematic. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even need this recon here. I'm blocking it here. They can't get it through here now, nor up there. So I can actually remove the recon and not worry about well, at least make sure that they get protection. They should still keep the encirclement going, yeah. Alright, that's better. At least they're under air protection now. And I can establish that air protection a little bit further by going in here. Just in case. Right. They also don't... Yeah, okay, good. Alright, down here, I'm just gonna leave those guys. And... over here, I do need to... Ooh. Okay. I don't need to cross the river. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave these guys here. And I'm gonna start sending over the artillery to get Cherkasy. I think that's going to be pretty important. Besides that, I'll start sending... some... Okay, you don't have any ability to do that. Yeah, I'll start sending these guys over there. They only need to get into Dnepropetrovsk in order to prevent the enemy from taking anything. But it would be nice if I can use more units there. One thing that I will do though is, because these guys are entrenched, that's why they're going to deal a whole lot more damage. And what I'll do is I will at the very least send both of these right next to it. Not only so that they can't cross the river at the very least, but it also means that if they attack me, I'm in a much better position here. Alright, let's take a look. Oh, didn't expect them to immediately come with armor. That's fine. Surprised to see the Soviet Air Force, at least the some of them, in dealing good damage to me, though. Very interested to see how that works, but... Ah, they do go out. That is not good, actually. Okay, that's actually quite bad. Right. So let's actually see which odds, like, the Soviet fighters have, like the MiG against my Bf-109. So I have a lot more initiative, and I will fire first. But then they whiff by quite a huge number, I guess. Even though they have pretty high chance, like 7, they should be dealing like 5 damage. Whereas... yeah, so basically on a normal roll, I attack with... like, I want to know what the average result is in order to be able to say whether I want to keep my fighters out in the open or not, or to see whether this is just unlucky. So 80% will attack first, and that's an estimated 4 damage. So estimated that they will attack with 6 shots. They will have 5 opportunities to attack me. With 40% is 2 damage. So the estimated outcome normally is 5-2. 5 on my part and 2 damage on their part. Alright. That is good to know. Although I could have also just kind of seen it. Well, they're already at lower strength like this, but... right, anyway. Now it's time for some surrenders. Got some good counterattacks in. Let's see if we can't both encircle these guys and finish off the BT. That seems worthwhile. So let's attack, get an overrun, and Yeah, I feel safe enough moving to the back here. That's okay. Should work out. Alright, so these guys are technically subdued now. Okay. Secondly, can you deal with the Tupolev? You can't. Alright. Let's make sure that we have a full strength fighter dealing with that. These are just the obvious choices here that don't require a whole lot of thinking. Let's see if I can already get rid of these. Oh wow, they can actually deal damage? 2% chance, huh? How convenient. Alright, but at least I know now. Let's split up the anti-tank gun. And get that recon around. Kind of need to keep a unit in here just in case they're going to use more units to cross the river. Although this, interestingly enough, indeed the recon can see the river crossing. There we go. That's surrender number 1. Let's get that storage back together. I don't need to use it this turn, so that will allow me to get another slot. Alright, that's not gonna help a whole lot anymore. Okay, there we are. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this infantry into Chernikov itself, and I'll allow it to accumulate entrenchment. Right, moving you here. Allows me to attack that fighter. You in here allows me to attack that fighter. Soviet Air Force has been subdued efficiently. At least for a little bit. Getting 3 fighters, at least for now, is nice. Right, so they are going to go to 10 and they are going to go to 4. This guy is a bit more dangerous than anything else. So I'm just going to put the Stug in front of these guys. Right, as it is, I still need to be a bit careful. They're not going to attack the Flum tank. And I want to move these. In order to do that, I need to put the recon out here. That will keep them encircled and allows me to start moving Panzer 3F as well, which I think can actually deal some damage here. Might get in trouble against the Soviet heavy weapons. Maybe. But I think trying to get rid of that is probably a good idea. Okay. Can I put you all the way down there? No, I can't. Alright, I could finish them off, potentially, with this Wehrmacht infantry, and I think that's a good idea. Then we're gonna shell these guys and then move in here, so at least against these heavies they'll have a decent shot. And let's suppress these a little bit more. So they're gonna be at 10 suppression on the next turn. And I think 10 suppression is probably a good base from which I can take them out at that point. These don't seem to be very interested in moving, if I say so myself. So you have zone of control here, 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 and then even if you move up, they would still be encircled because I want to keep this here. And I don't... Yeah, they're always gonna move either here or here, which doesn't work. It doesn't help them. The only problem is that these guys are exposed now, so... Let's do this. Still have a fighter there. Then also... Like, I can't cover everything this time, unfortunately. Let's actually do this, sure. And I don't have protection anymore. So it's probably not a great idea to use the bomber in a place where I can't protect it at the moment. Let's just work some havoc so it's easier to make him surrender next turn. Alright, now let's tighten the noose. And because this is now set, I can now also start moving artillery into that direction. No reason to keep them down here. And I think time's a wasted. My only practical concern is that these guys might go out and attack the anti-aircraft gun, which is definitely something I wouldn't want. So let's, because they're gonna still take excessive damage, so let's put the infantry in front. And if they want to attack the infantry with a unit that's been encircled for 2 turns, and yeah, that damage is not gonna be too amazing for them, I think. Down here, we got that tank pretty good. Oh, that's a shame. Italians seemed up to the task. Yeah, they didn't bomb, but now they're weakened, so that's good. Yeah, I really do believe that we can use these for this. That's quite nice, I think. Alright. My plan here worked like a charm. Well, maybe not necessarily like a charm, but it worked somewhat. I think for now I can also move the recon up. I need to support my units over on this side here. The problem with this now is that even though my units are still in good position, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna retreat them out of sight, so that when the time is right, then I will go and get into position. I can do that any turn I want, and because they're out of vision now, my hope is that they won't attack. That's because that might have been what prompted them to attack in the first place. No. Okay, there we are. Okay, it's aggressive. Just like this is not really necessary, I think. But it seems like the AI was mostly doing nothing here. Alright. I don't expect there to be too many units like down south here, but I want to at least already start building up a few units so that when I reach Poltava, the enemy will be encircled there. Right, so now that these guys are fully suppressed, at least nearly, yeah, that wasn't gonna do a whole lot anymore. Alright. It's not gonna get any better anyway at this stage, so... Interesting that this is 0-4. I'm happy that we have the L button now. I get that it wasn't finished when they tried to release the game. 75 of 62 is indeed not 1, but it's definitely still a chance. 1-5, 1-3, 4. Alright, let's go here then. There we go. Can't split anymore, but that's okay. Let's check it out. So the artillery there is the biggest problem. Because it prevents my infantry from attacking both AT guns. So I might even break through here if... such a thing might be problematic. One thing that I can see them do is go after the Wehrmacht infantry. I kind of need to put this artillery here anyway. Means that I probably could have shelled again. Oh well. Okay, there are 10. No more splitting. Unless I put these together. Which is probably a good idea. No need to keep them separate. Do that. You in here. Okay, what I'm gonna do, put you in here, attack them, they'll surrender, they're at 10, go in here, get another surrender, and now those guys are gone. Took a bit longer than I might have liked, but that's fine. Right, let's finish those guys off, so at least we don't have to deal with that vision and such. Even though I'm taking a damage there, it's probably still just easier. Oh yeah, they can't join together at this stage. That's okay. They'll just stay there. Alright, so it's easier to break through at Novgorod-Seversky. Maybe I can take down the Soviet cavalry, get around towards this, surround them. Maybe, we'll see. And then indeed I can start going for Sumy from this side, just leave Konotop to be encircled. I want to engage as little Soviet forces as possible before the encirclement. Not gonna allow them to attack my pioneers with impunity. I'll just give you elites, actually. So they didn't get attacked, so that's positive. I'll leave them for now. I think that if they're fully entrenched, the enemy is just not gonna do a whole lot, so maybe we're gonna be okay. And they all moved. Okay, so they're just standing there. Excellent. They're gonna dig in. Yeah. I want to see with the recon whether the enemy reinforces. If they don't reinforce, I probably don't need to do that either. And that's exactly why I killed that enemy unit, so something like this would happen. Excellent. Great. It's probably going to be the last turn before I stop here. So they're not reinforcing. Okay, so that means that I might not need to reinforce myself either. But I still want to make sure that I get to finish them off, so let's get into a decent position. That doesn't help. It seems like the enemy bomber either repaired this turn or just decided not to go for anything. It's a bit weird. Okay, so the first unit that I need is actually on that particular hex. I don't want to overcommit for now, especially around Poltava. I don't have many units, but okay, you can probably finish them off. What are your odds anyway? Okay, that's not good enough. Let's try to use a fighter. So they can just stay there, be entrenched. Okay. Pretty much similar to previous turn, but it is effective. So okay, well, let's just attack, push them away. And I can finish them off. They can't retreat. There we go. Take Novgorod Seversky. I do have to say that I feel a little bit exposed. 1, 2, 3, yeah. A little bit exposed putting tanks in there. Not gonna lie. Alright, I can attack there on the next turn potentially, we'll see. But how far can you go? So technically, even against the cavalry, I could put up a good attack, but because defense rating is 0. Let's use this torch first. Just take a look. So they probably don't have any units over in this part of the map. That's very likely. So once we clear both of these, we can then start focusing on everything down south. To that end, let's just use you. I'll definitely put artillery out, but I want to get the bridge at Konotop. Now, my problem is that if... No. We can't get supplies through here, then this is a minor river. So they could get supply through here. So at the very least, I need to have a unit on this particular hex. And then maybe they also cannot see that. I would have to investigate, but I think they can't. So at least for now, I think such a place would be safe. Now, just in case, I will do this. So they themselves are not protected, but they can't be attacked from the rear because the artillery with the recon is in the way. Oh, wow, messed that up. Wanted to put them here so they could immediately shell, but that's fine. The one unfortunate thing is that they cannot get anti-air. Well, actually, let's put anti-aircraft there. You can practically bomb anywhere you like, so let's start digging out the heavies. They'll be useful for later, for sure. I did move them, okay. It's only anti-tank. Okay, so they did see me, but it was still... Oh no, they didn't. It was an ambush. Huh, nice. That's interesting. Alright, that was the first video. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.